It was a very unusual campaign also for Cambodia, which makes it all the more stronger. Cambodia is not a very mobilized country. It's not a country where people do come together and support each other, support campaigns. It's very fractured with, generally speaking, limited trust. Of course, I generalize a lot, but just to give you an understanding of why this campaign was so special and so successful. Successful not in the sense that this community of 4,500 families have gained their homes back or had access to justice, but because the women were released and because the community did mobilize and were able to come together like this with the support of a very strong civil society movement in some ways in Cambodia. Civil society, maybe it's truer to say that civil society in Cambodia is large rather than saying that it's strong. It is very vulnerable. It's very vulnerable to lots of things, and these vulnerabilities are being used then by the authorities to silence those who are the most prominent or strategic, obviously, to silence. The case of Boeung Kak unfortunately illustrates a much broader picture of the situation in Cambodia when it comes to land, to tenure security, and to the situation of those who stand up for their communities and become the local human rights defenders on the grassroots level. It is a fairly dark picture, obviously, that we are showing you today, but things are not all bad, and I would like to ask you, Sarom, about something positive, which is how, if you could tell us a little bit about this grassroots mobilization that we have seen in Cambodia in just the last 10 years or 5 years even.
Sorry. Every time I watch.
Yeah. You're not alone in that, I think.
When we went to Singapore with the community, it's slightly also.
Yes, Sarom went together with one of the 13 women to a presentation at the University of Singapore, was it?
Yes.
And presented the campaign together with Vani, one of the women who's been a prominent activist at the local level throughout the period where they presented the film and the PowerPoint and did some, shed some tears with the audience.
And unfortunately, she cannot come with us because it is very expensive to come. Yeah. I can say the grassroots change in recent years, especially these years, because the case of land grabbing go off, the pressure, the oppressing, the eviction happening everywhere in our country, and people cannot be patient anymore. Everyone now starting to raise their voice, to make their voice heard to the public or internationally, and I can say, if you go back to Cambodia again, people ready to fight for their right, for their land, for their housing. It looks like the government is no more easy to tell lies through the media system to the public, because even the government control all 115 or 11 something radio station controlled by the government, and more than 20 or 30, I cannot remember, the TV station owned by the government.
I think we can say all radios but two, and all the television stations.
Yes.
Regardless of their numbers.
Yeah, and even they own everything, they manipulate the information, but still, because the eviction, the land grabbing, and the human rights violation is happen everywhere in Cambodia. And now Cambodian people, especially affected people, we can see that they are working together. They are becoming solidarities, and rather than before, a few years ago, everything they rely on the NGOs to work for them, to show them the ways to go, but not now. Now they are ready. For example, like Boeung Kak and the other community in Phnom Penh, also the Prey the forest, the last forest in Cambodia, and the case in Koh Kong, the case in Kraches, and the case in Bante Minche and Prey Sar, etc. They always come together as a big group and do something starting from the ground to show that to the government that this is not NGO telling us to do or organize something for us, but we do by our own. So it's more difficult for the government now, because the community just need only very little advice in terms of legal, in terms of technical from the NGOs. And I think we are happy about that, because that is the impact from everyone work for the community, everyone support each other, and especially also the human rights organization or the international communities. So I can say something changed now. If you go back see the flowers, the lotus flower, that is one part. They threatened me as well. They said, maybe I try to do something like Spring Arab, the Spring Revolution, why I use the lotus. And the governors, I remember on the last day, the 27th, I was my pressure from the high-ranking police. They always come to me, ask me that I should ask that people to go back. I said, no, this is not me. He said, you organized it. I said, no. And then I went to the radio station to talk live, on live. And then we got many people calling from everywhere, from Siem Reap, Battambang, and everywhere, asking about the case. And when I got out of the radio station, I got two men with the gun and tried to threaten me. They want to cut my neck. And so the film, looked simple, but it was, the 33 days, it was very, very bad.
Should we open the floor maybe to questions?
Yes.
Also, so we get some.
Sure.
Yeah. Lots of questions. Yeah, maybe we start with Kathleen at the front.
Thank you very much. I was wondering, what are the main causes for land grabbing in Cambodia? Is it development? Is it what?
I think, of course, it's the picture of development the government always use when they lease the land concession to the companies, they refer to the word development. And if you dare to speak out about development in the penal code, that is criminal. You are in jail because you are against the development, national development.
Yeah, there is a provision in the new penal code saying that under certain circumstances, when you criticize the court system, you may be committing a crime.
So under that, it's always development. Even I can say that they said this area, the land is cannot make agriculture or cannot do anything, so should be the land concession to the company. But in fact, it is full of forests, and they cut all the tree and they just leave it under the picture that they develop.
So I suppose you can also say that it's ostensible development. There is the real purposes are often more related to officials actually lining their own pockets, and it's not for for the long-term development of Cambodia. And development plans are very far and few between.
But it's not mining, it's not agriculture.
It is agriculture, it's mining,
yes,
it's speculation in land,
yes.
It's all of the above.
Yeah.
There's also the court system, or the weakness of the court system, with rampant corruption also facilitates this. Yeah, next question.
Okay, you know the building in Phnom Penh? The building?
The building?
Yes. It's a very symbolic thing, because there's living 5,000 persons, and this building is just going down very quickly. And another question: who could we get more information, media information? Because I think Cambodia is very in the shadow of the media. But you know the building.
Yeah, the white building you are talking about.
Yeah, because I think that can be a big opinion. Okay, thank you.
So can you summarize it? Can you summarize it?
Can the building be used somehow as a? The question is then: can this particular building in central Phnom Penh, called simply the building, be used as an illustration of the situation going on? Is that what you're asking? Yeah. And how? The second question is: how could we increase media coverage on Cambodia? It seems it doesn't get the media attention it requires.
Actually, my organization is trying to work with this white building. I think the building built in 1960 or something during Van Molivan architecture. Yes. Of course, the building is in very poor. I mean, everything is very old. And the building got got the eviction notice several times already to go out of the building. Yes, and of course nobody's use this in the media about how to support or how to make the building heard publicly. But also, even my organization, we tried different way, because the local authority did not allow someone to go inside if you are going there to talk about the building. And then we try to use different ways to work with the students from architecture, from the engineering, by saying that they go there because they are students, just come to want to see something, I mean, just for their work at the school. That somehow we try to work with them, and the building also excluded from the land title. In this area, in Sangkat Tanlai Basa, there are...
Which is an area in central Phnom Penh.
Yeah, nearby the river. Yeah. And there are seven areas excluded from land title. and also the building, and how we use this building to hurt, because, like I said, we use different way, like a soft advocacy in terms of working with architectural students. We in somehow display the exhibition about the building a little bit. It's not easy. It's very, very hard to go to that area. I can say every community, every area in Phnom Penh, we can work with them only before the eviction notice come. After the eviction notice, it is very difficult. We call it hot community. We cannot come inside and ask something. Yeah.
But I think another response perhaps to the question is that that the Boeung Kak community and the campaign Free the 15, that has become exactly that illustration, and it's probably hard to have too. There's been a lot of focus on the community of Boeung Kak, not least because it's the biggest forced eviction in Cambodia in peacetime since since the late 70s.
And one of the activity we are doing, we work with the painting. Now we come to the community talking to the local authority. I want just to repainting your building to make it nice. The bar of the stair and the building. And they said, oh, okay, good. They are happy now, but they want to do something so that we can put in the media about. Like I said, we try different way so that we get more information. It's hard to get the information from them.
Benedicte? Last question. We're already after slightly behind.
Well, I want to say my admiration for the courage and the dedication. And you said that this is a national, land grabbing is a national problem.
Yeah.
Do you have any figures in terms of how many families on the national level are concerned about this, or in terms of territory, what is the percentage of the territory of Cambodia? And my second question is linked to that. You said that the communities were sort of working together. Do communities in Phnom Penh work together, or are communities also, affected by land grabbing outside of Phnom Penh, working with communities in Phnom Penh? Is it sort of more national?
Yeah. The question, I think it's more, I'm not 100% sure because I mainly work in Phnom Penh in urban area, urban sectors. But of course, we are connecting with the other group is part of land and house also. I think it's more than 6,000 families already evicted from the land grabbing. And I would suggest you visit Ligado website. And I'm happy to give you the name card of Nali, she's a director.
But in
at home.
An estimate for 2011 by one of a nationwide local human rights group was that 60,000 people were evicted in 2011 alone, and that's on the national.
And only in Phnom Penh, I got a statistic because we did a research. In 2011, we have 150,000 people evicted since 1990. Since the UN come to Cambodia.
So 150,000, and Phnom Penh is a city of about the same size as Stockholm, so it's quite stunning numbers of people who've lost their homes.
And the population is about 2 million. But the Phnom Penh resident only 1 million. The migration is about 1 million. So, and yeah, you said you asked about the community working together. Yes, they are really come together now. They work together, and this is I can see they are starting not too afraid anymore, and they are encouraging. That's why the government try to threat by send this to jail, send those to jail. They hope that they will decrease our voice, our speak out.
I think we have to leave it at that. It's past 10 already. Thank you so much for joining this breakfast seminar, and big thanks to Sarom for sharing
Thank you
this
very much.